Well, so we have to do review of the newspapers. A lot of things on the table. Particularly, we know that the BEC result will be in soon. There'll be placement in senior high schools, and the double track system is coming. And every day we keep telling new things coming. Private institutions are also supposed to be part. Good morning to you, Kwejo. Good morning to you,
Good morning.
Mamavi.
Good morning.
You have any private school involved? Yeah, private school, second cycle.
They're roping in a number of
That's going to benefit.
What you're asking us directly if we have private schools?
Yeah, asking you own any, or you have relatives who own. That's good business.
They're giving your boys free tuition.
Anyway, I can imagine. I would have been a beneficiary by now.
No doubt. But you're right. Every day we find out something new about free SHS.
Something new came up yesterday.
Yes, quite a few new things. I don't know. Did you feel a bit more comfortable with the whole thing after you heard the minister speak about the double track system?
You know, yesterday we had a conversation with the coalition of consent teachers, and that
the Consent Teachers Association of Ghana.
Yeah, that clarification was given on the show, so it was almost like hearing what I had heard before earlier. The only thing is, you know, Maxwell Agbagba asked the question yesterday, which was overruled. They said they were not there. That was not part of the presentation.
The Deputy Minister for Information.
Exactly.
Which is
we have to look ahead. You know, they've been talking about stakeholder consultations, and these students would end up going to the university. So as we're talking double track now, we also have to talk about
a double track for the university.
The kind of collaboration that's going on out there. But of course, they didn't take that question. It was not part of the presentation.
I think that at the university level, I'm hazarding a guess, we'll end up having normal intake from senior high schools, running some sandwich programs, which should have necessarily not been the track on which they should be. I'm thinking so. But so on vacation, on vacation, they would go in as regular students. That's what I'm thinking.
So it will actually be distance learning, and then they will come in for some.
So why are you guys thinking? They said we shouldn't. We shouldn't go there without thinking.
The thing is that, for example, you take the University of Ghana, the University of Cape Coast, the university, all the public universities. When are they going to build new structures? Because of the quantum or the sums that are involved in investing in these facilities, for us to think. Because even normal senior high schools with rollovers and all that, Luva Blitz, it takes time.
Look, today,
and then there's this other question that we wanted to ask here. Nobody asked, but it's not been solved. If you look at what has been presented, apparently, the timetable has been what it is all along, where we're going to have between, is it March and May, all the tracks in school, if we're saying that they are going to use the same facilities, if one is on vacation and the other is not, what if all of them are in school and we have track 1, track 2, or A, B for first year, A, B for second year, A, B for all of them are in school within 3 months using the same facilities.
So Roland and Kojo, this is what we're going to do. Cassandra Chum Ampofo speaks for the GAS. She's on our show today, so why don't we just reserve all the questions unless it's a comment that you want to make, an observation.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I just wanted to make a point about Maxwell not being permitted to ask that question by the Deputy Minister. Just before Maxwell got up to ask the question, the Deputy Minister had said something. Said that, and actually when Maxwell started asking the question, he said, I would like to direct this question to this person. And the Deputy Minister said, no need to do that. They are all here. They are all from the ministry. They will decide who should answer your question. Then he went ahead to ask the question, and then she came back and said, no, we are not dealing with that issue here today. So, you know, I thought to myself, what she's telling us is that all the people sitting there from the ministry, none of them can answer that question. That's really what she's telling us. And more importantly, she then added, we are not there yet. Do you know what they are telling us as Ghanaians? That we will not plan for it until we get there. They are telling us that, please, you are asking us to think ahead. Why? Don't you know us? We can't do that. Please wait.
Okay, that could be another interpretation to that.
When we get there, then we'll do what the minister is now calling a bailout. That's what he describes double track as, a bailout. Bailing who out?
Well, we'll put that to Cassandra. Hopefully, you know, they've slept over it, so we can look ahead.
We are not there yet.
Let's look at what's making headlines in the newspapers. We're just going to run through real quick what's making up the headlines. I have the Finder newspaper, so let's begin with the Finder. Front page of the Finder: 1,350 gets 50 million Ghana cedis. Beneficiaries receive between 10,000 Ghana cedis and 100,000 Ghana cedis to start business. State burial for GH Mensah slated for August 17. Hands off Sakumono. Ramsar sites, that's Forestry Commission to chiefs. 400 senior high schools to run double track system. And then Men's Gold calls the bluff of the Bank of Ghana. And it's interesting, the picture they have. One is the governor of the central bank, and then the owner of Men's Gold. What a match. All right, that's it for the Final newspaper front page headlines.
Okay, shall we do the daily guide? So, cabinet shake-up looms after Boakye Jarko dismissal. That's according to the newspaper. Double track is the way forward. That's Napo speaking. Men's Gold dares Bank of Ghana. And in a banner headline that makes Ayariga sound like a frightened virgin, don't probe me. Ayariga begs Amidu over tax evasion. I don't know if you picked up on that story yesterday, but essentially, Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu has revealed that the National Democratic Congress Member of Parliament for Boko Central and former environment... Oh, of course. Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. I'll tell you what we'll do before I give you all the details of that story. I'll give you some other headlines. In the Ghanaian Times, Magdan Foundation provides classrooms and bungalow for Tiong community. 1,300 businesses receive government support under Presidential Business Support Program. And 2018-2019 academic year, government to spend 1.4 billion Ghana cedis on free SHS as double-track system takes off in September.
All right. Let's look at the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It has on the front page. Boakye Jarko's friend asks, will the president name others? How about the role of non-appointees in the new Ameri deal? And if you read the story, it's quite interesting. Deputy Minister and another are directors of new consolidated bank, graphic business. And apparently, there are lots of things coming out of this sovereign bank, consolidated bank, and how they... we already had some information from the other part of before yesterday and all that. So all that was transpiring was just one of the rollouts of information. NDC's Joyce Bawa Mokhtari on president being misled. And then on the back page, you have a very interesting piece there. Boakye Jarko's friend open as a bow.
All right, let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Graphic: Special Prosecutor exposes Mahama Ayariga over vehicle investigations. Magdan bills school and the trees at Tion SHS to adopt semester system. These are the headlines on the front page. Back page: 2018 and the 20 Women's World Cup. England, Mexico eye early progress. Princesses face crunch match against the Netherlands. So that'll be it for what's making front back page headlines, the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's move on.
Today newspaper says turn Atua into national park in honor of Nana Sefuriata I. This is where all the bauxite is, isn't it? Magdan launches campaign to eliminate schools under trees. Double track temporary, but semester system permanent. And here's the banner headline: Ayariga hot as Amidu reports him to police. Yeah. Okay. So that's it, right?
Yeah. So let me do this one. The Herald. The Herald newspaper has the story. Akufo-Addo's brother cited in GMPC and car power deals as Boakye Jarko gets ready to drop Ameri bombs. FDA clamped down on fake imports by unapproved borders. Men's Gold denies BOG's claim again and says its operations are legal. I have a picture there of NAM1. 81 dead companies, apparently. They're finding their names on the list of free zones list. Ghana.
Ghost names.
Right. I thought so.
Okay, so we're going to bring you a bit of the details of some of the stories in the papers this morning.
Yeah.
I think you were touching on what,
the
men's
think I'll
gold
start
issue?
there. No,
or
it was
Ayariga?
Yes, the Ayariga issue.
Right.
It's in the Daily Guide, and basically the special prosecutor has revealed that the NDC MP for Boko Central and former Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Mahama Ayariga, is allegedly blocking attempts by his office to investigate him. Okay, Mr. Ayariga is said to have imported a number of cars into the country without paying appropriate taxes, causing financial loss to the state. Now, it's now turning out that a letter that the special prosecutor wrote to the Speaker of Parliament and copied to the MP to request that Ayariga, of course, submits himself for questioning, rather became an obstacle. Okay, Mr. Amidu said Mr. Ayariga has allegedly been using influential persons to beg him, Amidu, to back down on the probe. And here's the bit that is quite interesting, where he says, when the suspect received his copy of my letter to the Speaker, he immediately started to get people who he perceived could put pressure on me, such as personal friends, former colleagues, chiefs, men of God, etc., to abate the investigation being conducted into the performance of my functions, in the performance of my functions under Act 959 and Act 804.
And then this is a quote from
that's right.
Martin Abid.
And then he ends with this: I will not tolerate any interference or obstruction from anybody or organ of government other than the courts of law in the performance of the independent functions of my office, even if the culprit were my only brother. Now, I have only one comment on this, or perhaps it's a question. So, he's investigating Ayariga, and then certain priests came to beg. They say they are begging on behalf of Ayariga. So he's written to Yoko to investigate this obstruction of justice. Is he asking them to also investigate the priests and chiefs and people who came to him? Because they are the ones who are committing the actual obstruction, if indeed it is proved that, you know, what they did constitutes obstruction. They are the ones who came to speak to him, right? So, yeah, I mean, it may well be that they came on behalf of Ayariga, but as to whether Ayariga asked them to come or not is to be seen. The important thing, though, is they are the ones who came to you. So can we see some investigation into them as well? You know, because it's one of those things that really bothers me in this country. When somebody does the wrong thing, you get people whose job it is to preach the right thing, come and beg you not to let those people face the consequences of the wrong they did. Okay? So why are you preaching that we should do the right thing if you, the same person, will come and advocate that those who do wrong should get away with it?
It's a very interesting issue, and if you take a look at what the comments have been following the publication of this, especially on social media and even the mainstream media and their online pages, what the comments have been, it's I think it's mainly about the concerns being raised on the work and the special prosecutor himself, almost like always playing out in the public domain what he should be doing in his office, because you have been given the power by the regulation that seem to establish your office. And that regulation empowers you to do and go all out to investigate and find wrongdoing if there is or there are, for any actions you think or a case that you think needs to be investigated and subsequent prosecution. But if you come to the public to give us these indications, who doesn't get obstructions in their way whenever they are doing anything?
And it's wrong. You see, that's the thing you should ask yourself. What has been the effect, or what will be the effect of this now being in the public domain? They say daylight is a disinfectant, okay? So sunlight, sorry, is a disinfectant. So essentially, these people now know that they risk being publicly exposed for attempting to interfere in his investigation. Do you think they will keep coming? Do you think any of them will come back?
So that's a tool for him?
Of course. Of course, that's the idea. You will only put information in the public domain
was he sworn
if you
into
believe
office?
It will help you.
When was he sworn into office?
It's been, what, was it not beginning of this year?
I see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, let's continue. Let's do the men's gold story, and I'm picking this from the Finder newspaper. And we will be showing you a tweet that Nam1 tweeted yesterday in response of what the Bank of Ghana had to say. But reading from the Finder newspaper, the Bank of Ghana and commodity trading company Men's Gold Ghana Company Limited are set for a showdown that could result in a tough legal battle. The central bank has indicated that it will soon take punitive measures against Men's Gold, which it said was engaged in practices in breach of Section 6(1) of the Banks and Specialized Deposit Taking Institutions Act 2016, Act 930. A public notice issued by the Bank of Ghana yesterday cautioning the public against doing business with Men's Gold has angered the company, which described the action by the central bank as unfair. And in response to this, let's go back a bit, because I'm going back to my JoyNews.com with this story dated 21 May 2018. The Bank of Ghana indicated then, back in May, that it would soon take action against gold buying firm Men's Gold after preliminary investigations found it was taking deposits without approval. So this was the governor himself speaking, and there's a quote, and I'm quoting him now. What is clear to us is that they have the system that accepts deposits from the public. We're discussing with the ministry who originally gave them their license on quotes. And this was the governor speaking, Dr. Ernest Addison at the central bank. It was a question at an MPC press conference on that day, 21st of May 2018. And then we'll fast forward, and this is from City Online. And this was Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, who also disclosed that investment group Men's Gold is not licensed to conduct banking business. He says though the company was licensed by the Minerals Commission to buy and sell gold, it had veered off into accepting deposits from unsuspecting customers. And they link it to the DKM and saying that this will be the latest financial sector scam following the DKM events. And this is what he also says, and I want to quote him. Only last week we published a notification in the newspaper about Men's Gold to the effect that we have not licensed them to accept deposit, because to accept deposit you need a license from Bank of Ghana, and we have not licensed them for that purpose, and hence it will go ahead to do business, and hence if you go ahead to do business with them, it's at your own risk, on quotes. Now here is the owner of Men's Gold and what he tweeted. It will be on the screen in a bit.
That's it.
Okay, so this is him saying Bank of Ghana. So now you do propaganda, question mark, and is it smiling or laughing or whatever? I beg, tell Ghanaians exactly what happened with the 5 or so collapsed banks you duly licensed and supervised for years. Please don't attempt to use our dear Men's Gold to cover up. I beg, make we think. And of course, other persons who've been following him decided to make comments. He comes back to say, Master, Bank of Ghana does not have jurisdiction of Men's Gold. We do not operate under the Act 930. Why? Did Bank of Ghana issue warnings and cautions before the closure of the banks they recently closed? And again, which regulation or criteria in Ghana can't Men's Gold meet to soundly operate if it's, I guess, so desires?
All right.
So this is the back and forth with Nam1 and Men's Gold, and they subsequently issued a press statement.
Okay.
Men's Gold.
And I have to say, in relation to when you go to India, they sell gold plates and gold coins. Mainly people use it as nest eggs, or let's say deposits for maybe future investments of the sort. You're given the option to either take the gold home, go and put it in a vault somewhere else, or you keep it there. And there are options also for them to trade with the gold. And what you're given is a gold plate, a gold coin of a sort. Now, when you go to Men's Gold, they don't accept your money. You buy gold. They don't say that come and put our money with us and then you get this.
You're buying from who?
You buy the gold from them.
But they don't sell gold.
They sell the gold. They accept receipts from an entity.
This is very confusing.
No, it's not confusing. When you go and
yourself,
buy.
You almost said they accept deposits.
No. Wait. You go and buy. You go and pay somewhere else, and then you bring the slip.
Hang on,
and then you
bring
the slip.
Roland, I beg, step by
you
step.
bring a slip.
You go and pay somewhere. Where is that? Somewhere related to Men's Gold?
That company is it could be a microfinance company. I don't know in what position you.
So Men's Gold, what, just trades with your?
Yeah. So you bring. It's like you go and pay. Is it banker's draft? Some kind of. Yeah. You bring your receipt and you come for your gold. So you can decide to take your gold home, or you keep it with them based on terms that is supposed to reap some rewards for you.
You they understand now?
This is what I want to say first before I say anything. I want to say that if there is no law or regulation against what Men's Gold is doing, the government should leave them alone.
It doesn't make it right.
Wait, Mreba. If there is no law against it, then it is right. That is the nature of law. If there is a law against it and you do it, then you are wrong. If there is no law against it and you do it, you have not broken the law. This is the first thing I want to say. Please allow me. If there is no law, then you haven't broken the law. There is no law. But what I'm saying is, based on what they are doing, there must be a law. So if there isn't one, then those responsible need to be going to pass one now, if they are interested in protecting the public. So if none of the laws on our books covers what they are doing, then they should go and pass one. If they believe that what is happening is dangerous. Now, is what is happening dangerous? That's another question.
My issues with the Bank of Ghana.
Yes, but I think he hasn't finished.
Continuously telling us and warning us,
but the point
but
is
not
this.
taking any action.
Yeah, because they have no.
If they had a law that they could
no mandate to regulate
to shut them down, they would have done it by
now. They don't fall under their.
That's the reason why Nam1, is that what you call him, is able to go on social media and say and challenge them.
Because indeed,
now look, you don't regulate what I do.
If you go into their halls, you stand there 24 hours. You're not going to get anybody bringing in money.
Okay, so this is the point I'm making to you. This is the point I'm making.
But they are bringing in slips. They've paid from somewhere.
Do you
this is the point I'm making to you.
Physically have to do it before?
This is the point I'm making to you.
Because so it means the slips you're bringing.
No, you land.
This is the point I'm making to you. They say you can come and buy gold from them. Let's say 1,000 cedis worth of gold.
But they are not selling gold.
You can come and buy gold from them, say 1,000 cedis worth of gold.
Yeah, they're selling gold.
And then, instead of taking it home, you can leave it with them, so that they will trade with it.
You're selling gold
and make money.
And that falls under the minerals.
Please let me land. You trade with the gold and make money, and then you pay dividends or you pay interest. Some of the profits of that money that you made on the gold to the person who bought the gold, and then they also keep some. They say that is their business model, right? Okay. So you have bought gold from them, 1,000 cedis worth of gold. You didn't take it home, you left it with them. 1,000 other people also came to buy 1,000 cedis worth of gold from them.
They kept it.
None of them took the gold home. They all left the gold with Men's Gold. So Men's Gold now has 1 million cedis worth of gold that they are trading, and then when they make profits, they share with you, right? That's the business model in simple terms. But because they don't fall under anybody's regulation, how do we know that they actually are holding 1 million cedis worth of gold? How do we know that it's not the same 1,000 cedi gold that they have sold to? You understand? We don't know this. And if you don't know, you can't accuse them of committing a crime because you don't know. And you don't know because you don't have the authority to know, because they are not falling under any regulation, any regulator.
I hope that.
Okay.
I hope that
they're falling under regulation.
Which one?
I hope that when people lose their savings,
the mineral side. For example,
we all will not come and sit here and say Bank of Ghana relieve people.
If you have an industry that does jewelry and all that trades in gold, yes, there's a certain regulation that enables those people, and that's where they fall.
Enables them to do what?
To buy and sell gold.
Yes. So what can that regulator go and ask Men's Gold right now?
Yes, that's why I'm saying that regulator has got nothing to do with banking and financial practices.
Thank you.
So that's where the issue about the financing becomes murky.
I have been so critical of the Bank of Ghana, but I want to speak for them. I think I know where they are coming from. So the point that you make, that there's no law regulating this.
There is.
Hang on. Okay, Minerals Commission, whatever. This has nothing to do with the Bank of Ghana. Let's go with that.
The Bank of Ghana has no jurisdiction over what they are doing. If
people begin to lose their monies,
so far nobody
we will be calling on the Bank of Ghana to come to their rescue.
How?
In fact, we'll be calling on government to, and essentially it will be the central bank, to fix them. People have lost their monies and blah, blah, blah. With the, these things that the Bank of Ghana is doing, it's essentially telling you, I told you, I kept saying that if you do business, you do it at your own risk.
Mama B, you are right.
I think that's where they are coming from.
You are right. They are trying to cover their backside.
I kind of understand them.
They are trying to cover their backside here because, like you said, they don't appear to have the regulatory power to shut them down. But we live in a country of laws. And in the absence of any law that makes what Men's Gold is doing illegal, Men's Gold remains a legal entity that has the right to do business without harassment or defamation. So every time you put up a post in the newspaper saying you deposit with this company at your own risk, it is negative publicity for that company. Okay, so
I can't imagine that.
So really, the solution is
we can be here and say there's no law regulating it, so you can do whatever it is that you want to do and accept people's money, and that's it.
If there was, would they not have applied it by now?
I think, to be fair to Men's Gold, nothing has happened. We haven't heard anybody say they have my money and I want it and they are not giving it to me. So let's, in that spirit, I think we should leave it here and take comments from people. Yeah. Indeed. Okay, so let's read some comments on WhatsApp, and then we'll quickly
something percent. I'm reminding you what the interest is.
Hey, we'll do my JoyNews. Excuse me, we'll do my JoyNews.com and see which other websites we can do real quick. Whilst we get the pages ready, let's read some of your messages. This one says, I support the double track system. It's not easy to pay 1,000 cedis per every term. It's from Nana Yao. Bonsi New Ebrim. Not sure. This one says, is the government recruiting new teachers to support the double track system? Abdul Momin Wunam from Tamale. Well, that's what we were told, but there's no process ongoing right now, so don't let anybody dupe you. This person says, here we go. Okay, let's see. This one says, Alex Kwachin Sidewin, I've got to skip your message and then move on. This one says, if we cannot avoid the double track system at all, which I personally wish we could, then it must be implemented in all schools across the country. Otherwise, this system will be doing more harm than good. My humble opinion on the first ever double track system in Ghana. Bambakia Summit in Navrongo
cannot be implemented in all schools.
Okay.
Because some schools even don't get.
Akwesi says sometimes. Okay. Akwesi, this is feedback. Thank you very much. This one says, Ghanaians need to have one voice in educating our future leaders. We must have one way of educating our children. Zaire from Oa. And I get from the messages that almost all of you are touching on the double track, and that's why it's a good thing that we've got a GS answering and taking the comments. So I'm going to leave all the messages. When Cassandra comes into the studio, then we can begin to share all that with her. But let's go to my JoyNews.com.
Oh, are we going straight now? I just wanted to point out one quick thing, if that's okay. On page 9 of the daily guide, I think we can bring it up. There's a story that says Nana funds 1,350 NEIP beneficiaries. Page 9. Can we have that up on the screen? I just wanted to highlight it because it says Nana funds these people.
You mean government?
Is it not the competition? And
no. It's the institution that came to replace the YES.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
that youth enterprise support turned into the
Can we please
national entrepreneur?
Yeah. Can we please stop misleading the public with some of these things? It's not Nana's pocket money that is funding it. It's our tax that is doing it. But it's good. It's good for those 1,350 NEIP beneficiaries who will be receiving up to 100,000 cedis each to get into all kinds of entrepreneurial endeavors.
They're getting 100,000 cedis each.
Up to.
Okay.
All right, let's do my JoyNews.com.
Shareholders and directors of defunct UT and Capital Bank engaged in willful deceit.
They're still walking around?
To Bank of Ghana. Well, first we must investigate. Anna.
No, I think it's a report. Yeah. It's been investigated and the report has been done before the Bank of Ghana.
Yes,
they haven't acted.
Yes, but you see, a prosecution would have to target the specific, specific perpetrators. And it may not be every single one of them. And that's why there is a need for investigation.
What do the law people say? Prima facie established?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, then. Where are we going next? Double Track removes pressure to secure 1 billion Ghana cedis for infrastructure development, according to the Education Minister. And Joy FM Showbiz A to Z pundit Nana Turkson passes on. This is such a sad story.
Yeah.
I knew the gentleman very well. He's diabetic. Every time we met, we used to have conversations about it. And he always complained about how difficult it is to manage diabetes, especially when you have a sweet tooth. I miss him so dearly. He's such a nice, gentle soul, and it's so sad that he's gone. All right, what else? Love FM's Erastus grabs a pearl, walks down the aisle in style, and boy, was there a lot of style on show as Erastus and his beautiful, beautiful bride got married. I'm so sad I wasn't there. Okay, what else? A Mary saga. Minority wants Bedietuo sacked. Is that so? Okay, and what else?
Wishful thinking.
I would have dissolved state. Actually, I wouldn't. I
thought you would move on. It wasn't.
I wouldn't be so quick to call it wishful thinking.
Okay.
But I'll tell you why off air. Okay. All right then.
You mean it is possible?
Everything is possible.
Not everything is possible.
We've got 2 minutes.
Not everything is possible.
Everybody serves at the pleasure of the president.
Not everything is possible.
Okay, so I would have dissolved state institutions if they were football clubs. That's Kusi Boafo, the CEO of the Public Sector Reforms, saying the details on myjournline.com.
I see.
All right, okay. Ejako sack, not enough. All 3 deputies must go. IES
Which institution
says this to Ekufuado.
Okay. Institute of Energy Security, they call it.
Joyce Mokhtari writes of a Mary and matters arising. Very interesting opinion.
Yeah, I read it too. It was quite interesting.
Yes.
So KPMG denies involvement in recent banking awards. So one of the things that have come up in view of all the banking, the scams. In fact, there's somebody has described it in a way that I haven't heard anybody. It's coming. But the point is that most of these banks received awards. Best so and so, best so and so, best so and so. How could you be the best financial institution and find yourself in this situation? In fact, to not even exist. Last year you received an award. Fast forward 1 year down the line. In fact, just a couple of months, and then you don't even exist.
I've hosted the Ghana Banking Awards 3 times.
Okay.
So you are part of the problem. And you are sitting here.
The Ghana Banking Awards.
The
Ghana Banking Awards is not the problem.
Okay.
They set specific criteria for how to decide which bank is best in this, best in that, and it's all mathematical. Okay, so if you have received a certain number of deposits, you are the best. Okay. If you have given the cheapest loans, and it's simple.
So
you're saying the Bank of Ghana's concerns are not mathematical.
Oh no,
it doesn't go behind to
Bank of Ghana's concerns are not mathematical.
It's just based on what you say on paper you have.
That will have no reflection on whether or not your capital is still is existent.
Okay,
it will have no reflection on whether or not you have.
Do they look at the balance sheets of the banks? Do they go beyond the balance sheet?
They don't give awards for balance sheets. It's awards for what you are doing for the customer. The award is not for your balance sheet.
And now look at where they put the customer now.
Yes, but
and they are awarded for what they are doing for the customer. You hosted a show 3 times.
Okay,
this revelation, and now I know everything is possible.
Roland.
Everything is possible.
Roland, it has nothing to do with the
awards system. Me, I can't think far.
The awards are for what they are doing for their customers.
Yeah, sure. That's what I say.
So it's mathematical.
There's a banking consultant who's just described what is happening in the banking sector, the revelations coming up almost every day, as a Ponzi scheme. It's something that
it's named after a person. You know that.
So I guess every second something comes up. But on our show today, we've got the General Secretary of the NDC, General Mosquito, joining us. There are a number of personalities who have written formally to the party indicating that they want to be in the race for the flag bearership position. How many of them so far? What does it mean if you formally write? Does it mean you can go ahead and campaign? How about John Dramani Mahama? We're all waiting. Has he written yet that, you know, we have not heard of? So amongst many other things, and the NDC on the recent happenings in the banking sector as well. Johnson Asiedu Nkete is on the show this morning. And then we also have the GES. We're hosting the Ghana Education Service on our show. So let's just hashtag it, ask the GES. If you have questions on double track. So it's all about the double track. Please forward all your questions so that we can ask what you want to ask as a parent, as a stakeholder, even as a student. So that's what's coming up. But before all of that, we will do sports. Benedict has got the details of sport, which is right after this.